We're officially going to call our board meeting to order at 5:06. We're going to start with roll call. Paul Vieira.
Present.
Paul.
Present.
Geronimo Gaetana.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Michelle
Here.
Barabine.
Yep, present. Thank you.
Mimi Kim.
Present.
Yay. Hi, Mimi. And Jody
Hi.
Molladale, present. And now we're going to do 1.2, which is the approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Michelle Bauer Beam, so moved.
Thank
Mimi
you,
Kim,
Michelle.
second.
Thank you, Mimi. A vote, please, Paul.
Aye.
Thank you. Geronimo,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Mimi,
Aye.
and Jody, aye. Anyone from the public want to address the board? Seeing none and hearing none, let's move on to the consent items. 2.1, March 18, 2024, board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve that? Oh, let me read all of them to you and then we'll approve all of them. The next one is 2.2, March 29, 2024, special board meeting minutes. 2.3, March 24, monthly payroll. And then finally 2.4, updated VCPS wellness policy. Do I hear a motion to approve all of the consent items?
Michelle Bauer Beam, so moved.
Mimi
Thank
Kim,
you, Michelle.
second.
Thank you, Mimi. And now we're going to have a vote. Paul,
Aye.
Geronimo,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Mimi,
Aye.
and Jody, aye. So that's approved. Moving on then to our information discussion session. 3.1, the superintendent's report.
So I'll be presenting the superintendent's report today. So we have a few very exciting things, but before I get to the exciting stuff, I want to give an update on the strategic planning process. Our steering committee has been meeting with the people from Attune Partners for a few months now and doing a lot of the planning process based on the data that we received from the organizational diagnostic. But before we get too far and closer to completion of the plan, we wanted to make sure that we allowed for input from the board. So the board has received a survey. Some of you have already given the feedback, and thank you for those who have. If board members, if you would like to continue to, or if you haven't already, this is a friendly reminder to give that feedback. So that way we can make sure to incorporate all of that into the final strategic plan that we plan to present to you in a little under 2 months at the June board meeting. So very, very exciting stuff that is already being prepared, and the final product is going to be really, really amazing. So looking forward to that. Second item is this past Friday, Mr. Summer, Mr. Pirano, and the whole Vista Charter Middle School team had their oversight visit, and it was extremely successful. Everything from the classroom observations, seeing the level of student engagement, to wherever Miss Nahara is, and the special ed team just did an incredible job. And while they're very tight-lipped and can't say anything, the person who was leading the visit said, "All I can say is, if I was a parent of a middle schooler who lived in the area, I would bring my child to your school." So that is that's very high praise. And next up, Mr. Benavides, I see you there. Tomorrow is Horizon's oversight visit, so I know that they are ready to go and to rock it tomorrow. So we're very excited to see all the amazing things Horizon is going to showcase tomorrow. Also, earlier in the month, we had Vista Meridian's initial WASC accreditation visit, which also was extremely successful. And I'm sensing a theme here where they couldn't tell us too much, but what they did say to Mr. Spire and the Meridian team is if there were any issues, they would have brought it up. So we are expecting that, I believe it's going to be in May, that they are going to give us the full 3-year term that an initial accreditation can get you. So great job all around there. We also have some exciting student projects. And the reason why I'm sharing some student projects is later on in the board meeting, there will be an agenda item that is approving travel to Boston for the ISSN Summer Institute. And just like last year, when we had a number of students go to Baltimore, we are now preparing probably double or triple the amount of students to go to Boston this year to present their projects in front of the International Studies Schools Network at Wesley University. And so some of those projects include students who are focusing on how mental health can affect their education. Another group is working on how the homeless population has an effect on the surrounding community, as well as projects around water and water conservation and water usage. So a lot of great things coming up, especially with Earth Day right around the corner. So really, I want to shout out our teacher leaders who are taking on and facilitating a lot of this work. One of which is in the room, Mr. Proano is one of the leaders there who will be helping chaperone our students in Boston. So definitely a job well done there. And we're excited. It looks like we're going to have over 30 students going to Boston this summer. So really amazing work. And the last thing that I wanted to do is start to update the board with enrollment for next year. So spring and summer is really enrollment season as we gear up for the next school year. And as you all probably know, California as a whole has been seeing a decline in enrollment. And so we want to make sure that we are continuing to meet our enrollment targets. And we're continuing to increase our enrollment when schools and districts around the state are seeing steady declines in enrollment. So we do want to give the board an update there, and I'm going to share my screen so you can see a snapshot of where we're at right now. So you can see for each school in column B, you can see the number of new enrollees for next year. And then in column C, you can see the percent to target enrollment for the following year. I do want to share a caveat or a few caveats here. There have been, as we've been enrolling for next year, each of the schools have started to see an increase in enrollment for this year, which helps because those students will likely be staying on next year too. And so we want to continue to see the trends increase towards that targeted enrollment that we have set and based our budgets for next year on. And also at the same time, I want to share the caveat that this is only the families that have submitted 100% of the documentation. Every school has a number of families who have shown interest and might have submitted some documentation, but we're still waiting for a few documents before we can actually put them into our student information system and call them fully enrolled for next year. So we will continue to update the board every single month based on how our enrollment trends are looking. And so we want to make sure that each of our schools are continuing to trend in the positive direction, and that as Arturo is sharing budgets for next year, that we're aligning enrollment with what we are budgeting. And that is the principal's, or sorry, the superintendent's report for this.
Thank you very much, Colin. Thank you. And next now is the principal report, 3.2.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Aye.
Okay. I'm Roxanne Alessandro. I'm the principal of Vista Condor and Vista Heritage, and I'm excited to finally get to share with you some exciting news that happened back in January. On January 16th, we went in front of the City of Santa Ana City Council, and we received a unanimous approval for our conditional use permit, which allows us to proceed with our construction, which has started, and allows students to use our outdoor space. So we were very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we knew it was gonna work in our favor. We didn't think it would be unanimous. So to get a unanimous decision was really a big deal, and we're very excited about that. And we had students, staff, parents, all in attendance there to support the school, which is also amazing. We have a lot going on this month with spring now in the air, and lots of events that are not only fostering our partnership with the community, but also opportunities for us to recruit students. So this coming Saturday, we have the Me Encanta Santa Ana event, which is a city cleanup in the city of Santa Ana, and our amazing school community coordinators are leading a group of students and parents who will be attending and assisting with the Santa Ana cleanup. The following Saturday, we have the Santa Ana 5K, which we'll also be participating in with students and families. And I can't say enough about our amazing community school coordinators, Ms. Soila, who's here in person, and Ms. Jocelyn, who is joining us via Zoom. And they are doing so much to build the community between our school community and our Santa Ana community, and they're just doing amazing work. We've had a busy week here last week at Heritage. We just completed our spring student-led conferences, and we've had just about 100% attendance by parents and families. And we're continuing to reach out to those few parents who weren't able to be here in person, because we really believe that it's important to reach each and every individual parent. We're also in the middle of our iReady Diagnostic 3 assessments. And we use this as an opportunity to do like a practice run for our state testing, which happens the first week of May. We are continuing in our professional development with Leah and Jane Raphael around Readers and Writers Workshop. And tomorrow, as a matter of fact, both Condor and Heritage are participating in peer observations. So we have 3 substitute teachers that will sub out 3 of our teachers who will spend the day observing 3 other teachers that are strong in Readers and Writers Workshop. And we've had the opportunity to do this several times, and teachers have really raved about how much they've learned and how important it is to see teachers in action with our students using the curriculum that we are asking them to use. So it's been highly, highly praised, and we're excited to have another round tomorrow. And we'll continue with an iReady PD for all staff for the next 2 Fridays. So that's taken us a while to get rolling, and we're happy to have that up and running. And so we're now just getting ready for our spring show, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, state testing, as I mentioned. We have our spring festival that our PTO puts on. We have culminations for kindergarten, 5th grade, and 8th grade. And we welcome you all. If you're able to attend any of our culmination ceremonies on June 5th, Wednesday, June 5th, we're happy to have you with us. So thank you.
And
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jody, can I just quickly just say, Roxanne, you threw it out like it was no big deal, but having nearly 100% of your families attend student conferences is no
It's
small.
wonderful. It's a huge deal.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't happen at most schools. So I just publicly want to just highlight that accomplishment. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. Our next report now is, I'm sorry, we're going back and forth to the agenda. I apologize. It's going to be 3.3, the ICON financial reports, Arturo.
Good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen. Go. Okay, today we're going to focus on the February 2024 financials. Since it's the 15th of the month, your March financials are just being closed, so that's why we don't have them right now, but you'll see them next month. And we're going to be comparing against second interim. Next month, you'll also see the preliminary budgets for next school year. It is going to be a little bit tighter than it's been in the past. That's mainly being driven by the fact that the cost of living increase from the state is currently projected to be under 1%. So that makes it extremely difficult, as you have, items that go up automatically 3 to 5%. And we're also going to be losing one-time funding that's been in play the last few years in the ESSER, the ESSERs of the world. So just a little bit of a warning as we kind of move forward, and we'll see that next month. Starting off with the middle school. So through February, they received just under 60% of their revenues, and currently they are on track in salaries. Books and supplies, don't let this scare you, this 85.34. It is above. Some of it's early, but the majority of it are ESSER purchases. So we, as you know, the middle school has a lot of ESSER 3 funding that needs to be spent by September 30th. So making some big purchases. We reported ESSER expenditures for this past quarter last week. And for the middle school, we had over $300,000 in expenditures. So most of that is in supplies. So that's why you see that big percentage there. But overall, on track. The balance sheet for the middle school, as usual, is nice and healthy. Cash in banks at the end of February was just over 7 million, with total assets of over 15. Liabilities is just about 7, so total equity of $8 million. Looking at Heritage, they received about 67% of their revenues for the year. This shows them slightly above track on salaries, but we're still working on their reconciliation. We're waiting really for P2, so that's going to be the since we have to reconcile the salaries, we want to reconcile it at P2 because that's kind of the final break for the full year. So you'll see that adjust with Condors and some of the other shared positions. And you'll notice when we do Condors that they're slightly below, so it'll kind of balance out. Books and supplies is on track. A couple areas are above, but overall on track. And similar with the 5000 series, we do have some areas that are maxed out or near being maxed out, as we've discussed in the past. Balance sheet for Heritage, also pretty healthy. So at the end of February, about 1.6 million cash in Banking County Treasury. Assets of just under 28. It includes the facilities. That's why it's such a huge number. Liabilities of 24.7, which includes that facility bond. It kind of knocks out most of that assets there. And then total equity about $3 million for Heritage. Looking at Condor, they received just over 63% of their revenues. And here you kind of see that balance trade off with Heritage. So, they're definitely kind of below pace on the salaries with a lot of those split positions. That'll balance out with Heritage being a little bit above. Goods and supplies, they are slightly above at 68, expect to be at 66, but nothing to be too concerned about. 5000 series, they're on track. Some areas, again, are a little bit tighter as travel and PD. But overall on track on expenditures. And their balance sheet, 3.6 million cash in banks and county treasury at the end of February. Assets of just under 25 mil, liabilities of just under 21, so total equity about $4 million for Condor. Looking at Horizon, almost 70% of their revenue has come in. Expenditures are on track, aside from the 4000 series, just slightly above. But only a couple percentage points. So again, not an area that I'm too concerned about at this point. And then total expenditures are on track for Horizon. its balance sheet continues to get stronger. So, cash at the end of February was just over 674,000, assets of just over $1 million, but really low liabilities. So they kind of finally hit that equity of about $1 million. So continued growth for Horizon. Palm Lane revenue is about 65%. They're on track across the board. This 39% in the 5,000 series, there haven't been facility payments yet to Anaheim Elementary, so that's kind of skews that a bit. But aside from that, they are on track. Their balance sheet is healthy as well, 3.8 million at the end of February. Assets of just over 7 million. Liabilities about just under $1 million, so equity about 6.4. Meridian on track with syndicated salaries. Classified has kind of been above track for a good portion of the year, but overall on track across the board. Their balance sheet, so even though it shows assets of 2 million, that includes about $2 million in the bank, about 1.9. But they also there was a cash flow loan to help them at the beginning. So the liabilities are above those 2 million in assets, so their equity is still negative. Although it's an improvement from last month, we showed an equity about negative 200,000, now they're negative 128. Outstanding checks at this moment, so just a handful. Mostly looks to be some reimbursements for employees. So principals, you can get a chance to kind of take a look, reach out, let us know if we need to reissue those checks. And then the March check register. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arturo. Now our final is going to be 3.4, the Energy, Environment, and Utilities Pathway Update Presentation. I need just a second here.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to be fairly quick here. I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of get a glimpse into our journey of taking Dr. Wilson's vision of a climate leadership pathway at the high school and turning that into a tangible pipeline to high wage, high demand jobs in fields related to sustainability. So one of the important parts of having career tech ed at our school is to have an advisory council, which meets about once a quarter. And that is a group of staff and industry and workforce experts to help us design the best possible programs for our students. So I wanted to share a couple of slides from that meeting, our most recent meeting, which was in February. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here to get to of our presentation. And I wanted to share our grant funding sources because we've been working really hard to fund our new programs and activities with state grants. So this year we've acquired or been rewarded with 3 grants. The first one is the Strong Workforce Program grant for just under 180,000. The Strong Workforce Program grant, round 6, we actually got 2 of them. So the second one was 120,000. And then we also got a CTE incentive grant for just over $265,000. We've also submitted 3 grants recently. One was a very hopeful budget of $1.8 million. The second one was $100,000 and the third one was $250,000. So all of these grant funds come together to allow us to implement these new programs in sustainability. I also wanted to highlight some new early college opportunities, and one in particular, or 2 in particular, relating to sustainability majors or certificates. So the first one is our dual enrollment pathway that allows students over 4 years to complete their university general education requirements. And this chart kind of shows all of the gray classes are their high school classes, and all of the yellow classes are their college classes. So you can see over 4 years how students will essentially complete 2 years of college for free. That's like a $90,000 savings to our students and their families. And then I'm gonna skip this one and focus on our newest pathway, dual enrollment pathway, which is our electric hybrid vehicle technician certificate pathway. And we actually have 15 students starting that this summer, and after four more classes, they will have a certificate to be a technician for electric vehicles, which we know that that market is booming, and we need people to be able to service the cars, service the charging stations, and so forth. So we have students in the pipeline for this. And then lastly, I wanted to highlight some work-based learning opportunities. We want to make sure our students are getting exposure to different jobs in the industry. So here are a few examples. For our electric vehicle kids, we're going to be taking them on some tours of automotive industry tours that are highlighting electric vehicles. We also will be taking those students and probably their Santa Ana College professor to a Rivian service center. So as you know, Rivian is one of the producers of electronic vehicles, and we have service centers here in California, and they have never had high school students visit their service center before. So we will be the first high school electric vehicle automotive students to visit Rivian.
Wow.
And we've also had a group working with our kids in our science classes, specifically on stormwater runoff programs, testing the stormwater runoff here at our facility, sending those results to labs, and then they'll be writing a state level report on their findings. And they also got a chance to welcome a visitor from Santa Ana City Stormwater Program that talked about jobs in water conservation, and then took them to one of our new local parks that has new retention basins so they could see what a job in water conservation looks like. So some of our next steps will be to continue looking for funding, opportunities for leadership for students, and ways for them to connect classroom activities to jobs, to actual internships and job workforce opportunities. So that's it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Many thanks, Catherine. Some wonderful, wonderful things happening. Thank you. Now moving on to the action items. The first action item is 4.1, and it's travel costs in the amount of $20,000 to include travel, hotel, and meals in accordance with our fiscal policies and procedures for attendance at the ISSN Summer Institute in Boston in June 2024, National Charter School Conference in Boston in July 2024, and the Mastery Transcript Consortium Symposium in Denver in September 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mimi can make motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi. Do I hear a second?
Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Now discussion. Any questions regarding this? Hearing none, let's take a vote. Paul?
Aye.
Thank you, Paul. Geronimo?
Aye.
Thank you. Michelle?
Aye.
And Mimi?
Aye.
And Jody, aye. So that has passed. Going on to the next one, which is 4.2. It is the 2024-25 VCPS Personnel Handbook. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mimi can make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi.
Geronimo,
A second?
second. Geronimo,
Thank you,
second.
Geronimo. Thank you. Any discussion, questions?
This
Hearing
has
none?
just been updated. This has been updated with new laws and also making sure that it's inclusive of grades K through 12, since we'll have our 12th grade next year. And this is so contracts will start to go out to staff as early as tomorrow.
Many thanks. Ready for our vote? Paul?
Aye.
Thank you, Paul. Geronimo?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Mimi?
Aye.
And Jody, aye. So that has passed. Moving on now to 4.3, and that is Prop 39 Final Facilities Use Agreement for Vista Horizon Global Academy. Can I hear a motion to approve?
Mimi can make motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi. A second?
Geronimo second.
Thank you, Geronimo. Discussion, questions regarding this?
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. This is just
Okay, hearing-
LAUSD's final offer. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Hearing none, then let's move to our vote. Paul?
I,
Thank you, Paul. Geronimo?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Mimi?
Aye.
And Jody, aye. So that passes. Our next one now is 4.4, and that's the database administrator salary scale. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I, Mimi Kim, make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi. Do I hear a second?
Geronimo second.
Thank you, Geronimo. Any discussion, questions?
Yeah, so this was the one salary scale, or this was the one position that we have that didn't have a salary scale. So we wanted to clean that up. So we make sure that we have a salary scale for every position. This won't impact the salary necessarily for our current data administrator, as that will be grandfathered in. But we did some market research to make sure that we have a salary scale aligned with what other organizations have.
Thank you very much. Ready for our vote, Paul?
I,
Geronimo?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Mimi?
Aye.
And Jody, aye. So that has passed. Now moving on to 4.8, which is the no, I'm sorry. I can't see. We're actually, it's just wishful thinking. We're out only on 4.5, which is the updated business and HR manager job description and salary scale. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I,
Aye,
Mimi Kim, make the
Geronimo.
motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi. A second?
Geronimo second.
Thank you, Geronimo. Any discussion, questions?
Yeah, so when we were originally bringing the business and HR manager position to the board last year, we did not anticipate how much work it entailed. And so as we've gone through this first year, the business and HR manager has needed to work nine additional days outside of the calendar days just to get the work done, which includes payroll and dates and very, very important stuff for our operations. And so this is really updating the number of work days in the job description, as well as accordingly at that same daily rate, the salary scale. So it has a negligible impact on the actual budget. But this is really fixing the job description and salary scale as we have now seen the actual demand through year one.
Thank you. It's always important to get your payroll done. I'm sure your staff appreciates that. So it's a good idea. Are we ready for our vote, Paul?
I,
Geronimo?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Mimi?
Aye.
Jody? Aye, and that passes. Moving on to 4.6, the CTE and dual enrollment counselor job description. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Aye, Geronimo move to approve.
Thank you, Geronimo. Do I hear a second?
Second. Mimi Kim, second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mimi. Any discussion, questions?
As we receive CTE grants, as Dr. Real shared, this is also something that really aligns with what the state has been using as best practice for promoting and supporting CTE programs. And so this is the same salary scale as the current counselor position, but the job description is a little more nuanced to support CTE and dual enrollment.
Thank you. Are we ready for a vote? Paul?
I,
Thank you. Geronimo?
Aye.
Thank you. Michelle?
Aye.
Thanks. Mimi?
Aye.
Thank you. And Jody, I. That passes. Moving now to 4.7, it's the Vista Meridian Global Academy College and Career Access Pathways. Agreement with Santa Ana College Action. Any additional information? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I hear a motion to approve?
Geronimo, motion to approve.
Thank you, Geronimo. Do I hear a second?
Mimi Kim second.
Thank you, Mimi. Any discussion, questions regarding this?
So this formalizes the dual enrollment agreement with Santa Ana College and Vista Meridian. And the main thing that this will do is it allows Vista Meridian to have exclusive college classes where nobody else from the general public will be able to take those classes. It will only be Vista Meridian students.
Very exciting. This is a huge congratulations to all of you for working so hard on this. Our students definitely are going to benefit from it. Thank you. Are we ready for a vote? Paul,
Aye.
Geronimo,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Mimi,
Aye.
Jody, I, and that passes. So now we're on to 4.8, which is the ratification of K-12 SWP grant sub-agreements between Vista Heritage Global Academy and Rancho Santiago Community College District for the Sustainable Future and CTE Foundations and Leadership Extension Grant Awards. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I, Mimi Kim, motion to approve.
Thank you. A second?
Bauer Bean, second.
Thank you, Michelle. Any discussion? Questions?
So these are two of the grants that we have already received. This is the formal agreement. The SWP grant requires us to partner with a specific community college. In this case, it's the Rancho Santiago Community College District, which operates Santa Ana College. And so this is for the two Strong Workforce Program grants that we received.
Thank you very much. Are we ready for our vote then? Paul?
Aye.
Thank you, Paul. Geronimo?
Aye.
Thank you, Michelle.
Aye.
Thank you. And Mimi?
Aye.
Thank you. And Jody, I. So that passes. Now we're going on to 4.9, which is the 2023-24 Title III Federal Addendum Consortium Summaries for Vista Charter Middle School, Vista Horizon Global Academy, and Vista Meridian Global Academy. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I, Mimi Kim, make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi. Do I hear a second?
Bauer Bean, second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions?
Yeah, so this is inclusive of the next two agenda items. We were told that they need to be separate agenda items, but the first one is the actual summary of our plan for Title III. This was approved at the beginning of the year, but it was only approved for Vista Charter Middle School and Horizon. And now that Vista Meridian has completed and the state has approved its LCAP federal addendum, we are now able to receive Title III monies. And so this allows Vista Meridian to be part of that consortium because Vista Meridian does not have enough ELs to be separate outside of this consortium yet. So this is really allowing Vista Meridian to become part of this consortium and receive Title III funds. And then the second item that will be approved separately is the MOU to do so.
Thank you. Ready for our vote, Paul?
Aye.
Thank you. Geronimo?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Mimi?
Aye.
Jody, I. So 4.9 passes. On now to 4.10, which is our final action item. 2023-24 Title III Federal Addendum Consortium MOU for Vista Charter Middle School, Vista Horizon Global Academy, and Vista Meridian Global Academy. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mimi can make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mimi.
Bauer
A
being
second? Thank
Geronimo
you.
second.
Geronimo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Roxanne.
And any questions? I think this is what Colin had spoke to us about. Any other questions for Colin? Okay, ready for our vote? Paul,
aye,
thank you. Geronimo,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Mimi,
Aye.
and Jody, aye. So 4.10 passes. Now, are there any comments from the board?
I would like to comment on Jody's most wonderful delivery of this meeting. I so very much appreciate
Well,
it.
it's
Thank
thanks
you
to all
very
of
much.
you. We got through it.
I would like to
quickly.
also second that, Jody, most efficient process
Jody, I-
I've ever
I
seen and
appreciate it, but
delightful.
thanks to all of you. It moved very, very quickly. Excellent.
Jody, I do have
Very,
to
very
mention,
good.
this is done. I do have to mention that you set off Alexa about 5 times though.
Did Alexa
So-
vote?
Are we ready? No, but now 5.1, we did that. I need our last item, 6.1. We can all do this together. Do I hear a motion for an adjournment?
Just say-
So
Yes!
Move.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Aye.
Alexa says
Yes. Ready for
second.
a vote? Paul,
aye.
Geronimo,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Mimi,
Aye.
Jody, aye. Our meeting is adjourned at exactly 5:47.
Wow.